Is on video for proof. Angela he said that when I come back to watch the games when he's a senior, he's going to be the world's buffest kicker.
I don't know. I think Loudermilk might have it.
Dude, senior year, I'm going to look like Buddha. I'm going to walk in there.
Hey, back up. Hey, you're on the sidelines, back up.
He's going to come back, and he's going to admire me.
I mean to be an Avon Eagle.
I think it really builds your character as a youngin' coming in. I'm being through the program. It really distinguishes you as an adult throughout the years. You learn a lot. You gain a lot of character, personality. It kind of breeds you to be ready for the outside world once you're done.
You got an interesting dynamic. You're one of the few 4-year varsity players. How much is that different, do you think, being on in varsity for 4 years?
I think it's no different. I mean, coming in, you're going to learn quicker than everybody else, but you're still on the team. Everybody's caught up to me. It's all the same. We're all here together playing for one goal, and that's to win.
The two-a-days, the 5 a.m. lifts, the dirty dozens, all that. How much has that shaped you into who you are today?
Oh, those were brutal. Freshman, sophomore year, you really got to get into those, be dedicated. It builds you into a man. I mean, going in freshman year, I think I was 5'8", 130 pounds. Out of sophomore year, I was probably 6'1", 180. Now I'm up to 190, so it really builds you as a person to be ready to play on the field.
You've had an interesting summer, traveling the country, going to all these big schools. What's that like, being looked at that big of a recruit?
It's a blessing and a curse. I mean, kicking recruiting is very different. I mean, it's very stressful. You got to be super patient. You're always the last one recruited, so you're just kind of waiting and hoping that eventually something will pop up for you.
I've always heard this is a brotherhood, this team and this community. What's that like?
It really is. I mean, this team bonds a lot together. We spend hours a day being out here practicing, going over for team dinners, Friday nights. It really builds connections that will last a lifetime for everybody out here.
How psyched are you for your senior year?
I'm psyched. I mean, hopefully we make it as far as last year, if not even farther.
Are we going to see some Vakos kicks maybe to win or something?
We'll see some of those. I mean, we'll see how much Oaks lets me get out there and hit those long ones. He usually cuts my range short. I mean, he always gives me a shorter range, and I don't like that, but we'll work on it for sure.
How did that one feel in the playoffs last year?
Oh, that felt great. It would have felt even better if we had students, but it still felt great.
The fact it was against Lake?
Oh yeah, that was one of the top moments in my sports history.
Who's your favorite coach?
Oaks. I got to go with Oaks. He's been there since the beginning of my time. We've learned a lot together. We've grown. He's a good guy.
If you're a superhero, who would you be?
Got to be the Flash. Speed demon. I mean, that's all you can do anything.
Flavor of ice cream would you be?
I'm going to go with cookies and cream. Very, very normal guy. Not a chocolate fan. Need some flavor in there, get some cookies.
For your pizza, what toppings would you have?
I'll probably just go maybe a meat lover's pizza. It's always good. Got to get those proteins in. Chicketti's taught me that very well. So probably a protein pizza.
How much of a luxury is it to have an elite kicker?
We've been spoiled for the past 4 years with him. We first met him when he was in 8th grade, and we knew when he was in 8th grade coming up. He was just kicking one day after soccer. One of the middle school coaches brought him up, and we saw him, and we had an idea of what we would potentially have with him. And to have him come up and to know that, gosh, where are we at now? 191 extra points in a row in the past 4 years is something pretty special. And to know that you have somebody who's willing to work harder than anybody else out there, who travels all over the country to get coaching from elite coaches, to perform at a high level on camps, we've definitely been blessed and spoiled at the same time.
How about the aspect of, you get over midfield, you almost think you have a guaranteed 3, don't you?
If we can put that ball inside of a 50-yard field goal with the right conditions, I think it's something we're going to do. Obviously, against Brunswick, week 1, 45-yard field goal, good from probably 60. The way he kicks them in practice when we're over on the turf and we're just doing workouts, they're good from 50, 55 all the time. When you see his social media posts and his videos for recruiting, he's good from 55, 57. You see him at camps, they're good from 55, 57. So I think if we put it down there within a 50-yard range on a Friday night with perfect conditions, meaning it's not too windy or not too cold, I think we have a chance to make it from 50 every time.
How about his touchbacks, too? How important is that?
Last year, I think it was like 92% of his kickoffs were touchbacks. So if you could tell me that you have a 92% chance of putting the ball in the end zone, the other team starting at the end, at the 20-yard line, I think every coach in America would take that. And so far this year, out of 8 kickoffs, 7 of them have been touchbacks. The one wasn't a touchback because he slipped on his plant foot on his approach and mishit it.
It's my 22nd year as a head football coach, and I've certainly never had a kicker of his abilities. I truly believe Nathanial Vakos has a legitimate shot of kicking and getting paid for it someday. Some people would say don't put the cart in front of the horse, but I just have that much belief in him that I think he'll have a great college career and he has an opportunity to get paid to do this someday. He is special. He's not just a kicker, he's a great athlete. Everyone knows that he's a tremendous soccer player as well, so he's pulling double duty and playing at a high level in both sports. And he's a likable young man. His teammates are pulling for him, and I can't say enough great things about him. It's a nice luxury to have. And I feel for Nathaniel sometimes because in certain games, 3rd down and 5 that turns into maybe a 4th and 5, we're going to go for that generally, you know, because touchdowns are worth 6 and field goals are only worth 3. But in games where it's really tight and those are tough yards to come by because you're playing a really good defense, you need that. You need a kicker who can do that. And you're right. I feel like if we get to the 30-yard line, we can get points out of that. And that is a nice luxury to have, and it certainly changes your mindset a little bit on how you call plays in the red zone.
What do you think is going to be his longest kick of the year?
Well, he just made a 45-yarder against Brunswick that I think probably would have been good from 60. So we'll see. I don't know. I hope he gets an opportunity to kick one that's beyond 50 because I know he has the leg to do it, but he knows and we know that we're only going to do that if it benefits our football team in that moment to try that long field goal. So I have a feeling that if it's the end of a half or if it's a situation where it's 4th down and long, we'll certainly give him those chances because I feel good about him making it.
You have something that a very small percentage of high school coaches have. You have that in your back pocket. Some don't even have an extra point kicker.
Yeah.
So does that change the offense's mindset?
Yeah, I mean, we still want to score touchdowns. That's going to always be our goal, but absolutely. You know, I feel like when we get down in the red zone now, we should come away with points regardless. I think the one thing that people don't know is that he's made 189 straight extra points. As a coach, I'm like, man, do you not talk about that? It's like a no-hitter in baseball. What do you do? But people need to know that. I mean, you know, he's 189 out of 190. He missed his first extra point of his career as a freshman, and he hasn't missed since, which is remarkable when you think about the snap, the hold, and the kick. So if there's a bad hold or there's a bad snap that messes up timing, that can all affect it. But that just speaks volume to his consistency, too, of being able to put the ball through the uprights.
And how about putting the ball through the end zone on kickoffs?
That's huge because we don't have to spend a tremendous amount of time covering kickoffs right now. We want them to put it in the end zone and the other team gets the ball on the 20. In high school football, sometimes, you know, the special teams become a mystery, and it's really hard to practice kickoff coverage because you run down there, you stay in your lanes, but you're not taking people to the ground, and you certainly don't want to do a lot of those reps in practice because it's banging and potential injuries for your players. And you can see in all levels they're trying to kind of phase out the kickoff because of that. So when you're practicing it, you really don't have a lot of time, and you want to be careful of how you do it. So knowing you can put the ball in the end zone and just give it to him at the 20, we'll take that all day, every day. And that's what he's been able to do for us.